everyone. Welcome to Coffee Talk from the Waste Expo show floor here in New Orleans. My name is Gage Edwards. I'm a content producer at Waste360.com, and today I'm joined by Erik Wist. Erik, why don't you tell the nice people at home who you are?
Sure thing. Hi, I'm Erik Wist. I lead commercial development for Juno Technology. We're owned by Georgia Pacific.
Excellent. Today's discussion is about the path to prosperity, from ideation to commercialization. Erik, I've got some softball questions here for you. I just want to know a little bit more about what Juno's got going on, so feel free to knock these out of the park for me.
Sure.
My first question for you is, how are operations going at Juno Oregon?
It's going really well across the board. I mean, the original vision for Juno is we're taking garbage that is created and thrown away in houses and in businesses. We're taking that garbage, we're going to sterilize it, and then we're going to recover the commodities that are in it, so things like paper, plastics, and metals, and we convert the food into renewable biogas. And so we built Juno Oregon about 2 years ago, have it up and running, and its impacts are already being seen. So in Toledo, Oregon, we've tripled the recycling rate for the city, and that's since we started up, and with almost no change to the citizens or the waste hauler. It just fit seamlessly into that community. We've also estimated that for every ton of waste we process, we offset 1 ton of carbon dioxide equivalent. So there's a good greenhouse gas story there as well.
Wow.
From an operating perspective, it's running as well as we could have hoped. We're seeing about 90% uptime on average quarter over quarter. And over the last 6 quarters, we've exceeded our throughput targets every quarter. So the facility's really running well. And we've been seeing that and recognized by the local community and even some national awards. So we've won a handful of national and regional awards. So we couldn't be happier with how that facility is going and prouder of the impact it's having in the community.
Well, congratulations on those awards. It's a big thing.
Yeah, thank you.
So next, what have you learned by running a commercial site?
Yeah, the focus there was to really understand what a wide range of waste that Juno could process. You think about commercial municipal waste, there's a lot of different things that can end up in there, and so we really wanted to test those bounds and understand how we integrate in local communities. So we're pulling from several different cities in Oregon. Those cities have a variety of recycling rates. Some are below 30%, some are over 50%. And so when you think about that, that's a wide range of recycling infrastructures that we're plugging into. We've plugged into those seamlessly. We've done targeted trials on each of those cities' waste so that we understand the diversion impact we're having on their waste stream and the runnability of the waste. We've been able to run it all without any issue. We're taking that waste day in and day out now and effectively processing and diverting it. So we've been very happy with the range of waste we've been able to process there. Since we've been running for 2 years, we've got basically 8 seasons of experience. If you know about that part of Oregon, it gets a lot of rain in the winter.
Right.
It gets not a whole lot of rain in the summer. We've had, processed through snowfalls. We've processed through epic droughts. None of them have impacted us. We've seen that kind of consistent performance, for those 2 years of operations. So I've been really pleased with the consistency and robustness of the technology there, and our ability to run a wide range of waste. We even went after some target special loads. We had some local recyclers who couldn't find outlets for things like some milk cartons. So they had a couple of truckloads of milk cartons that couldn't be recycled. We took those in, did some targeted runs on them, and found out we're able to recycle those too. So there's not much we've not seen, and so we've come away very confident in the technology's ability to run and process municipal waste at a large scale.
Well, that's very cool. So success already, but let's talk about what does success look like going forward?
Yeah, so now we're looking at kind of the global rollout and executing that global rollout strategy. So we actually just are now agreed to terms and secured a site in the United Kingdom. And we believe we've got another one that's a couple of months away.
Wow.
I'm heading down to Australia next week. We've got a land broker down there. We've got a couple of sites that we're starting to evaluate in there. And we're having numerous discussions across the United States with communities. We actually just last month announced a pilot program we're doing with King County, Washington, to take their waste and process it and understand its applicability for that region. So we're really excited about kind of taking this thing and starting to roll out to these next sites and roll out globally. I think we're furthest along in the United Kingdom, so we think that site will be ready for construction in 2024. We've been able to move pretty quickly in the United Kingdom because we've got a history of operating there with some of our other businesses and in the waste space in particular. And they also have a laser focus on landfill diversion. And so that's allowed us to go pretty quickly. So, with that site just secured, we're now working on securing feedstock, getting our engineering finalized, and getting the planning and permitting process kicked off. So we're excited to get that site going, really focus on the rollout in, the US, UK, and Australia.
Well, I wish you all the success in that. What are the challenges to bringing new recycling technologies to market and making a meaningful dent in the global recycling rates?
Yeah, anyone who's processed MSW and general waste knows that it can really vary, and making that jump from pilot to commercial is challenging. Really, it's almost impossible, I think, to go at it alone. You need to tap into the resource, into other companies, and so for us, the way we've kind of tackled that is our parent company, Georgia Pacific, large pulp and paper company based in the U.S., and we're owned by Koch Industries, which is an even larger company. We've got a wide variety of capabilities and businesses, everything from pulp and paper to water processing to software. And so what we did is we started with that paper processing and paper recycling technology. Just really focusing on that. We've got decades of experience in that. And so when we started with those principles, we were using technology that we knew already ran at a commercial scale and that could work on these type of commodities. And in this application, we just had to tweak how it was used to be able to handle the MSW coming in on the front end. So we really started with that kind of focus, and then we started reaching across our other sister companies to tap into their knowledge on finding outlets for commodities, for building and constructing the facility, and everything from wastewater management to processing. So that broad network of support and capability and knowledge is what let Juno Oregon become the success that it is today. I think we would have really struggled without all that help, and I'm grateful that we had that support. And now as we look at going to the global rollout, we're tapping into external stakeholders. So we're tapping into the relationships we've built around the world and that our parent companies have around the world to bring in additional stakeholders to help accelerate rollout and accelerate our growth into other markets.
Cool. Now we've touched on this a little bit through different answers so far, but what is next for Juno?
Yeah, so it's if you think globally, it's a little daunting, but about 2 billion tons of waste is generated around the world, and the World Bank estimates that that's going to grow to 3.5 billion over the next 3 decades. So it's a big number, and a lot of that can be recovered. And so success for us will be measured on how big of a dent we can put into those billions of tons of waste that might otherwise be landfilled, and recover those commodities and bring them back into the economies. So as we said, we're looking at the UK, Australia, and the United States and Canada kind of for our next sites. That's going to be the focus in the short term, but we think this is a global solution. This has application in most countries around the world. And so for us, success is going to be measured about going out, rolling this thing out globally, and really making a meaningful dent into those billions of tons of waste that might otherwise be landfill, and pulling out those resources so that they can be reused in the economies that they're in around the world, and really help reduce waste.
Erik, thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure. Everyone at home, make sure you stay in the know on waste360.com, and make sure you're being social with us on all social channels.